Who's ready for some girl chat? Are you guys
so
ready for some girl chat?
I've been looking forward to this.
You've been looking forward to it, eh?
Yes.
All right, first up, they say true love happens once in a lifetime, but what if it happens twice? A blog writer for AskMen.com recently discussed the tricky situation of falling in love with two people at the same time.
Ooh.
The blog says that while there's no cookie-cutter solution, if you are going to choose between two people, make sure you do so with a clear head and not make a rash decision out of emotion. So ladies, what advice would you give someone if their heart belonged to two different people?
Go with the one that has more money.
Oh,
Ding, 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 yes. I'm just kidding. Playing around here. No, but for real, it's hard to say don't go with your emotion, because that's what got you in the mess in the first place.
Yeah.
Your emotion, right? Because nobody looks to find two people to get into that conundrum
It's not
with.
an ideal situation.
Yeah.
I would say make a pros and con list. Like, literally, like, sit there and be like, okay, these are the good things about the person. These are the good things about... Pick the one that has more pros than cons. But altogether, I think this makes no sense, because I think if you truly, truly love someone, like you're truly madly in love with someone, you would just know. Like, there's no way that you would be unsure. So in this case, I think if you are in love with two people, I say throw both of them out and start over again, because you're actually not in love with either one of them, because real true love would cancel out the other person.
Yes, that's actually
Like,
very
you literally
true.
would be like,
that's true.
I don't want to be with that person. I love this one
How
person.
common is this? By applause, how many of you guys have actually been in love with two people at the same time? See, okay, so it does happen.
The thing is I thought I was in love with two people at the same time. Because I realized the difference between infatuation and actually in love.
Okay.
Yes, so infatuation is usually when it's short-lived and you see no wrong in the person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they are just perfect. And usually there's some lust involved in there.
Usually.
Yeah, usually. Whereas love, I feel like when you love the person, you know everything about them, flaws and all, and you choose to love them, but not only that, you love them with your mind, your body, and your soul. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And it's a little deeper, a little bit more intense, and it's longer.
I wonder if it's also, I like the pros and cons list, and I like that gut feeling I think you're saying too.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's also knowing what you want out of that person. Because sometimes some people will will want to love you, and it might be more of a fling, but somebody might be more of the long distance love. It depends on if you want the fling or just the romantic side of it, or if you want to commit, because usually there's not both people who want to offer you that happily ever after.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Lonnie multi-dates, so
Yes,
I want to know.
yeah.
You've been in love with more than one person at the same
I don't
time?
understand why you have to pick.
There is that option.
I mean, I don't understand. You can't be with two people? What's the problem?
Do you tell both?
I think you could. There are some people that live in relationships and they
do.
They have two loves, and that's, it's non-traditional, but it's out there. It happens. I mean, if we're talking about love, I do think that you can have soulmates, and you can have multiple soulmates.
Yes, you can.
If it works out. But that's non-traditional.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay? If you're traditional, then we're talking about, okay, now we got to come up with lists, and we got to come up with...
And you gotta
also, I
pick
will say
one.
this. I think you should be traditional if you're going to have children. I don't think you should have I shouldn't say that.
What do you want to say, Lonnie?
No, I shouldn't say that, because there are blended families. So it is possible. But I will say that when you start off and if you're young, I think you should be in love with if you're going to be having children with someone, have it with one person. Try to. Okay?
So not have two loves.
Right, and then have two separate families and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I know that, but the way things are happening, I'm just being real in society, is that it's a lot of blended families. There's a lot of things happening. Just make sure that you're in love. But I think it's best, especially when children are involved, to just have one person. But if you're not, hey, have at it. Have a buffet.
Possibly makes it more complicated.
I have a question.
Complicates
I have a question. Oh, and my earring fell out. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Don't worry, I'll get it.
Okay, no, I'll get it. Hold on. Oh, hell. Okay, they're going to see everything. Okay, so is it possible where a family has, well, the husband and wife has an open marriage.
It exists.
And yes, but
Yes.
with children. Do the children know?
Well, that's
that
why
their
you got
parents
sister
have an
wives.
Open...
Yeah,
I
it
have
exists.
Yes,
Yeah,
there's sister wives
right.
where it's open, but I also have friends who have been in a long marriage, too long for them to actually stay satisfied together. So they have a don't ask, don't tell rule, where they just do what they need to do on the sides and they come home. And this is just modern times. I'm not saying this is for me. This is just
Right.
what people do out there. But you have to be real that if it works for you and you can be cohesive in the family and not get it like messed up with the kids, sometimes you have to do that.
Until they land in
I think you
something
just-
that they really like, and then they're gonna leave you.
It's just important to be truthful. I
Real.
think that's the,
Yeah.
when
I
you're
think you
doing-
got to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're doing things under the table and not telling the other partner, I don't think that that's fair or that's right. And that's
Agreed.
when hurt and all kind of craziness comes. But it's hard because we've been led to believe we only have to be with one person.
And that's what I think is wrong, because I even think you can have soulmates for a season. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Soulmates
Do
for a season.
elaborate.
Like, I think that there are times, where you have feelings for somebody and you go into it in a more serious direction, but then later on find out that doesn't work out. I'm sitting here living that right now. I'm divorced. At one time, there's no regret I have for having said yes to Freddie and having that marriage that we had. But
You
then
still
we grew.
believe you guys are soulmates?
I believe that he was my soulmate for that time.
For that time,
but
but
I
and it
changed
shuts
and
off.
grew as he did. We changed and grow. And could we have changed that narrative? Of course, if we had changed our destinies, if we changed who we are. But that's also not love either. But
Right.
in that moment, what I felt and what I felt God was telling me at the time, I was happy and I had that happy moment in my life. And I know I made him happy for some time too. And that was good for us then. You can be in love in several times in your life. You can have more than one soulmate. Love is not defined to every one person. Love is what makes sense for you and your joy.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you believe
love
that your soulmate can actually be your sibling? Because I truly believe, I believe my brother, like my brother Taj and I, like I know I'm a twin, but I always say my brother Taj is like my twin. We like read each other's minds.
You know, in the
we
movie-
get each other.
I get that. I know this sounds crazy, but there's a reason why I talk about Mama Maya a lot.
Yeah.
She is my soulmate. My
Yeah.
mom gets me, and we see each other, and we
Yeah.
feel each
That's
other.
what I'm saying.
You know?
That's how I feel about my
Anybody see
sister.
the movie In Terms of Endearment? In that movie, In Terms of Endearment, Shirley MacLaine, at the very end, she was always looking for the love of her life. And before she was about to die,
Spoiler alert.
Oh no.
Terms of Endearment is 28,000
But maybe
years
no
old.
one's seen it. I'm not sure I've seen it.
I haven't seen it, but go for it. I
Everyone
wanna hear
has
it.
seen Terms of
Okay.
Endearment. If you haven't, Google it. But
Okay.
at the very end, the whole point I'm trying to say is at the very end, on her deathbed, she looks up, she opens her eyes, and she says, "My daughter was the love of my life."
See?
So she spent all that time trying to find, and it came to her right before she was about to pass that her daughter was the love of her life.
I love
and
that.
That's dope.
So
That's dope. When I was single, I cried to my sister and I was like, I want to find love like how you have, Claude, with Jerd. And I would cry about that. And one day my sister looked at me and said, well, I could be your soulmate. And I
Yeah.
cried my eyes out. That's why if you ever see on my Instagram, my hashtag, my sister, my soulmate.
Yeah.
Because even now that I'm married, that doesn't mean that my sister isn't my soulmate. That is still very possible.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
times
and
have
you
just
can have more
changed.
than one.
Times have changed for
Yeah, you
women.
can have
I mean,
both.
it used to be, I feel like I study marriage a lot.
Yeah.
Because I study relationships a lot. And it used to be a time, especially in biblical times, where you didn't have paternity tests. You know, that's why they had
Yeah.
marriage, because, you know, you wanted to keep a family together, in my opinion, from what I've studied. Now times have changed. It's a little more modern. Women are able to get jobs in this country. They're able to take care of themselves in this country. So that has changed the dynamics of relationships
For
where
sure.
you don't have to get married right off. Maybe you can take the time to find the love of
Yeah.
your life.
Yeah.
You're taking care of yourself. You're paying your own bills. You know, you can freeze your eggs. You can do a lot. I mean,
The
it's such a
possibilities
great
are endless.
time for women right now. So take your time.
Yeah.
Amen.
Don't rush into anything.
Yeah. Well, if you're heartbroken after letting your second boo go, sometimes posting about it on social media can make you feel a little better. But is it making us antisocial in real life? According to a new study done by the University of Kansas, apps like Facebook and Twitter are not to blame for people not interacting face-to-face anymore. It says that while overuse of social media isn't great, it's really not as bad as people think. Ladies, do you think that social media does really make us less social?
What do they mean by that?
I know.
I think being
would-
addicted to your phone makes
Yeah.
you less social because when you're in a social environment, put your phone away. It's that simple. when you're in a social environment.
Yes.
If you're sitting on the toilet by yourself and you're scrolling through Instagram, have the time of your life. But I will say this, just the other day, I was saying to somebody that there are so many negative things we could say about social media, but I actually have found so many positive as well. I actually keep up with my family members that don't live here.
Yeah.
There are times where I'll see the cutest thing of my nieces on my sister's IG story, and then I'll call my sister and be like, oh my God, the girls are in ballet class? But I wouldn't know that if they wasn't posting on IG story, or like aunts that I haven't seen, or people that I haven't seen in a really long time, classmates that I haven't heard from since I was in elementary school. I'll find them because they'll tag me in one of our school photos where I look nuts, missing teeth. But it keeps us connected in some way. But I think it's important to see it just for that. It's to keep us connected. But when you're with people, learn that you can connect right there, person to person.
And I think that's what the study meant.
Yeah.
Because when I read it, it said that it doesn't affect face-to-face time with people that matter most to you. Because I think when I'm with my family or with my husband, we always, check each other and say, you know what? Get off your phone. Enjoy each other.
Yes.
Seriously, you never know. I'm telling you, you gotta. I just tell people you love them.
Yes.
I went to go see the comedian Dave Chappelle, and it was like 300 people. It was in a club, and he gave everybody this little gadget that you had to lock your phone in. You got to keep your phone, but it was locked up.
That's a great idea.
And, the thing was, it was hilarious seeing 300 people having to talk to each other.
Wow.
Because you're so accustomed to, while we're waiting on the show, it's easy, you will forget to get your phone out, and you couldn't. And you didn't know what time it was. It was a club, so there were no windows. It was nighttime, of course. But I'm going to tell you, that was one of the best shows because everybody was attentive. Everybody enjoyed themselves. And it was like, I missed that. I was with my friends, and it's like we're drinking, we're, having a good time. And then Dave came on, he killed it. And then afterwards, he gave us our phone back. And I was like, that was a great idea.
And everybody wasn't sitting there like this.
Right.
They were actually enjoying
that's the reason why I like going to the movies, too. Sometimes you ever go to the movies, I tell people, cut off your phone.
Yeah.
The minute they have the phone on they say, cut the phone off. I'm like, thank you. Because that's like an hour and a half, 2 hours that you're just, no phones, no technology. You're purely entertained. So I think it's good to check out sometimes. Check back in. It's a good thing, but we also have to remember to look at each other and say hi to each other face to face.
Don't take this time for granted. You know what I mean? Face to face. What?
Like in church, like the churches I go to, they literally will be like, after like worship is over, they'll be like, now we're gonna put 2 minutes on the clock, greet as many people as you can. Do you guys ever get awkward in those moments?
There's
I'm
a little
so awkward.
Yes.
I don't.
I'd be like, if I'm sitting next to my mom, I'm like, hi, Mom.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Well, see, that's the thing. You don't have to, I don't hug people. We're going to talk about that. But I do say hi, and I like saying hello to people.
Yes.
Hi, how are you doing? God bless you.
Connecting
I hope you're
with your
okay.
eyes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Looking at people in the eyes.
If you ever actually come to our show, anybody who hasn't, get over here. But when you do come, if you've been here before, we always ask you guys to give each other a hug afterwards because it's real fam. This is real fam. I feel like you're in our living room. We want to know you. We want to connect with you. And so when we talk to you and we connect with you, it's because we don't have our phones. We don't want you to have your phones. You are all here. We are all together.
I am currently phoneless, people.
Yeah, but then we do have, technology. We do read.
Yes,
live
we
read.
have.
So
that
that's
is
the way,
true.
and that's been connecting people. Also, we Skype in and Google in people.
Yes.
So technology is some good too. I don't
Yes.
think that is always
course.
something bad, and it makes people feel connected. So many people have been telling me since we do the hotline bling and we do that they appreciate that they feel that their voice is being heard.
Yeah,
you
even
know?
when we tell them, make sure that you're joining us in Girl Chat, #GirlChat, because we genuinely want to hear what you have to say. You could have a perspective that maybe none of us thought of before.
Exactly.
But I think that even being live has made us so much more interactive.
Right.
And in that sense, social media is so amazing.
Yeah.
So we can't knock it 100%, but like we said before, when you're present with your family, with the people that you love, when you're at a party, put your phone away.
Take a break.
If you're single, you might find the man of your dreams if you're not sitting in a corner like this.
Okay, enjoy life.
Who knows?
Agreed.
So true.